Well, we kind of did a video on Uranos yesterday, talking about how the biggest smoke demon in comics is back. But the greater news coming from this is that Marvel is setting up some good old fashioned blue on blue violence. We have Apocalypse pulling up, and we know Apocalypse is with the shits. And we know Uranos is going to be let loose, which is inevitably going to lead to a clash between Apocalypse and Uranos. So the question we must ask ourselves is, what will happen when these two monsters clash? Can Apocalypse take him down, or will Uranos be too much for him? We're going to get into this, but before we do, smash the like button. Let's get this as many likes and comments as we can. Helps get my video out there to help my channel grow, as well as join Goon Nation if you haven't already. We're on the road to 30K. Thank you so much for the love, and check out my Discord if you want to hang out with me, talk comics, anime, and all that. But without further ado, let's get into this upcoming battle in comics. Okay, so this video is interesting as well because we're talking about sort of our prediction. Like, if we were gambling men and women, who would we bet on in the upcoming fight? I'm going to talk about both, what they've been up to, and why we should be tuned in for this battle. So first, let's talk about Uranos the Undying, the uncle to Thanos, the Mad Titan. We know for a fact Uranos is with the shits no matter what. I have videos on both these characters if y'all need to go freshen up on what they are capable of. But Uranos really debuted fucking up the mutants. Showed up, has only an hour to really run fades, but in that time, he put Magneto on a t-shirt. He was giving a much stronger modern Storm. Absolute fish. Couldn't really do much with him. He also boxed Legion. Now, Legion did hold back a little bit because he didn't want to crush the multiverse, like, passively. But the fact that Legion has to essentially go all out to even maybe beat him is crazy. And he actually beat Legion because of his mental instability. The Legion battle is important for us to reference in predicting this battle because Uranos showed us a lot of his capabilities. Not only is he an extreme level telepath, but he is able to conceptually battle across creation. He can battle in realms of pure ideas, pure imagination. Any kind of conceptual battle, he stayed pace with a Legion who, keep in mind, had zero issue crushing Onslaught. Dude, that last time he showed up, created a literal retcon in Marvel, beating the fuck out of everybody. Like he is a monster, and Legion was like, get the fuck out of here. But when he pulled up on Uranos, Uranos called him interesting and proceeded to throw hands until he won. So, another aspect, besides getting out of the way, that he's an extreme telepath, reality warping, he can keep up with all of that, essentially match your hacks and try to beat him, that seems to be his thing. We also know that he has an unreal arsenal. Just a minuscule percentage of his weaponry can level the strongholds and defenses of the mutants. Like, they were getting fucked up, and they had to turn his weapons in on him in order to beat him. So we know his arsenal is insane, and he has complete faith that he can solo all of Earth and every other faction in just 1 hour, using himself and his weapons of death. But are these weapons enough for Apocalypse? Let's switch over and talk about the mutant god himself, okay? Apocalypse is referenced and highly regarded as, if he's not the OG of the mutants in Marvel, he's damn sure up there with them. His obsession in the Marvel landscape is to create and form mutants that are capable of surpassing their limits. He essentially believes in an extreme level of Darwinism and natural selection. He's fucking crazy, right? He's gonna run science experiments until he's convinced everybody is real as fuck. And it makes him an extremely complicated character, because once you kind of meet his measures of being real, like when he's like, okay, you passed the vibe test, he kind of moves on. He doesn't really give a fuck after that. He's like, okay, I showed up and did what I said I would do, so it's all gravy. So he is unique in that perspective as a villain, because some could argue he's not entirely a villain, because we've seen him before team up with mutants to prevent their eradication, because he did not see that as the way to go. So what does Apocalypse bring to the table? He has a plethora of abilities. He essentially has almost every ability the mutants have. He's one of the OGs that was constantly cycling through his abilities. He can keep up with Phoenix Jean Grey. He can battle on the astral plane. He even said he had no issues boxing with Nate Grey if he had to on the astral plane. Like, that shit doesn't scare him at all. Nate Grey's a fucking monster. He's pulled up on Galactus, right? He's a beast. And Apocalypse is not afraid of that smoke. He's put hands on Phoenix. The Phoenix Force itself stated at one point that it believed Apocalypse was potentially the most dangerous or evil person it's ever come across, which is high praise at the time. Now, we know the Phoenix fought a lot of things later on. I'm just saying. Apocalypse getting praised like that for being the embodiment of evil by the Phoenix itself, that's pretty crazy. Other things he can do, he has celestial tech. We know celestials are capable of making technology to govern the multiverse, to cycle through narratives, dimensions, and everything in between. It gets to an extreme scale, and they actually use tech to create the Beyonder race. That's right. Made them in a fucking petri dish. Ain't that some shit? But we see that the Celestials provide this OD landscape of technology, which, of course, Apocalypse has access to some. It allows him to use it as armor as well, where we've seen even a young Thor who could hurt Gore could not hurt Apocalypse unless he had specific enchanted weaponry. So his armor is quite capable. He has a high regenerative property, as well as other hacks, like I said. His reality warping, he doesn't really use stuff that much, but similar to Uranos, he can kind of box with it if he has to. And Nimrod, who literally put Juggernaut on a t-shirt, beat the fuck out of Juggernaut, he needed to make several clones of himself to even battle Apocalypse. So Apocalypse is no fucking joke, okay? He is an absolute monster. So if these two were to clash, let's discuss who I think will win, okay? Let's get into it. This is a unique verdict to consider because we're trying to predict who will win in the comics, but luckily, both of them are in the same universe, so we'll try to base this off of what we've seen from them lately. Based on what we've seen, Apocalypse, like I said, has kept up with Nimrod tiers, battled some of the strongest forces in the multiverse, but so has Uranos, and Uranos is considered the ultimate weapon. And the reason I am concerned for Apocalypse in this matchup is that, in my opinion, the mutants who possess the living weapon, which is, of course, Uranos, they are not worried about Apocalypse. In fact, they seem pretty confident that if they were to unleash Uranos, he would cook. He would win. And why is this important for us to consider from a narrative standpoint? These mutants that seem to believe Uranos is indeed the weapon to get it done, they've witnessed Apocalypse since he came around and started fucking with them. I mean, Storm has literally seen all the bullshit Apocalypse has done over the years. So she is quite familiar with his game, so to speak. And because of that, and because of the fact that Uranos boxed up Legion the way he was, he really only got taken down by his own weaponry. Even Thanos didn't want to let him out the cage when he was talking his shit. Because of how Marvel is going about Uranos the Undying, I actually see him winning in this upcoming clash. However, I'm gonna let y'all know, I'm a day one Apocalypse fan. I've always fucking liked Apocalypse. What's that mean? I'm rooting for that motherfucker. I want him to smoke Uranos. I'm gonna be talking crazy if he smokes Uranos, because Uranos is no joke. He's an absolute monster. But if I'm a betting man right now, narratively, I think Marvel is gonna have Uranos beat Apocalypse. But anyways, guys, get active in this comment section. I need you to let me know, who do you think will win in this upcoming clash? How hype are you for it? I can't wait. This is going to be amazing. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and keep a lookout for several uploads this weekend. I'll see y'all later. Peace.